Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na n'ụtụtụ na-eja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise, ise, ise.
You saw that those are Fulani terrorists in a major road, blocking the road. Fulani terrorists in a major road. This is going on as we speak, and yet they cannot be proscribed. You saw them. Even they are attending to cars passing. After seeing all these things that are happening, after seeing all these crimes that are happening, and somebody will wake up and begin to talk about one Nigeria, or begin to clamor for whatever presidency you are talking about, Southern president or whatever, how do you think you can be able to handle this kind of criminality? The only solution for the contraption called Nigeria is what? Disintegration. Go and check people who are coming out. The people who are coming out to contest for the presidency are all stooges. They are all stooges to the Fulanis. These are people who are empowering this very insecurity that you are seeing. They are all slaves to the Fulanis, and they have no say. Even if they get to power, they will never change anything. People who are presenting themselves, look at Tinubu. Tinubu, who is presenting himself, is a criminal. Tinubu from the southwest is a criminal, a drug baron that everybody knows. Yet he's coming out boldly to contest. And people are going about their business as if it is normal thing to do. People are not attacking him. They're not speaking against it. He's not even ashamed that even somebody who is defending Tinubu on a national television was asked a simple question. A very simple question. What is the job of Tinubu? How did he make his money? He couldn't be able to answer. He was asked, how old is Tinubu? He couldn't be able to answer. A Northerner who is standing for Tinubu to defend him, of course, why would he answer? They don't care, because I told you that Nigeria can never empower a genuine person, and the northern part of Nigeria can never support a genuine person. Northern part of Nigeria can never empower or support a genuine person. They will only support criminal. If they support anybody in the south, go and check the record of that person. That person is a criminal, a born criminal, a killer, a murderer. Those are the people they support. The Janjaweed can never support any innocent person, any genuine person. They can never, ever support. Look at Tinubu. The man who came on national television to talk on behalf of Tinubu could not be able to defend and say, look at the job, how he made his money. Let me play the video for you so that you can see for yourself. See the kind of people who they are preparing for you to be a president in the country called Nigeria. Watch, listen carefully. The question will be asked to him. You see the kind of people they want to bring to you. Those of you who are still believing on one Nigeria, that maybe a miracle, you wake up one day, open eye, and you see a better Nigeria. It can never happen. It doesn't happen by wishing. Miracle doesn't happen because you just wish for it. You will do something for you to have a better nation. Something must happen. And what will happen is what? Disintegration. Watch somebody who came to defend a fraudster to be your president. Watch.
All right. Let's go back to the issue of corruption. You said those were just allegations.
Yes.
But I would like to know, how did he make his wealth? How did he make this so much very big wealth that he can afford a bullion van prior to an election in his home? That's a staggering, colossal amount of wealth. How did that wealth come about? Because I think if I check his resume, the last thing I saw was accountant with Mobile. You know, what business does he do? He's been in government for a while. How did he make that wealth? That's one. Two, there's been discrepancies about his age. I ask you, how old is he?
Well, let me tell you, you see, these two questions you've just posed, it's part of what I have answered earlier. I think at this point that we've gotten to, our emphasis should be on the pedigree of this candidate, what he has demonstrated that he has done, what he has achieved, how he has changed the revenue of Lagos State, how he has put a long-term plan to implement infrastructure. How he has ensured that he instilled discipline.
Honorable Jibril.
How much people that he has built.
Honorable Jibril.
These are the focus that we should concentrate on.
Honorable Jibril.
Because most of these political issues that we keep raising front and back will not solve the problem. So the emphasis now, the focus now, should be on the capacity and the competence of this candidate.
Honorable Jibril, how did Bola Ahmed Tinubu make his money? That's all I want to know. You can tell me what we can focus on. We'll talk about it in the manifesto. How did Bola Tinubu make so much money that he had a bullion van in his home on election day? And how old is he? Those are the questions that people are asking out there. How old is he? How did he make the billions?
I'm also putting it... I'm also now, you've asked your question clearly, and I will give you a simple and clear answer. And when you continue to repeat the question, you will get the same answer. These are all trash from the internet that people keep putting it together, and we will not elevate such conversations. But when the campaign commences, we will bring out facts and figures and put before Nigerians. But we will not create a narrative for them. So for now, the emphasis is on the competence of the candidate, what he has achieved, the network he has built, the people he has invested in, and his plan for a better Nigeria.
All right. Can I ask you this? How was this trash? Bullion van was found in his home. The pictures were viral, and there's been no denial. So how are you saying that is trash? And how is it trash that we want to know how the person that will lead Nigeria made so much wealth? You know, and also the declaration of being richer than also state. So that's not trash. How did he make his money? That's all I want to know. And tell me how old he is, so I can take you by something. Because there's been discrepancies too by the people of his age and his wealth. It's just a question I'm asking. Please.
And the Rufai is just an answer that I'm giving you as well. You see, unfortunately, you are posing the question as a journalist. What will satisfy you is when I say things the way you want me to say it. So you don't want to respect my own response. And I think it is unfair and probably very unprofessional. Because the response is simple. We've raised issues here about corruptions. I gave instance with even Ruben Abati himself. And I gave several instances of a lot of politicians in Nigeria where you will see stuff like this on the internet. And we said we are not going to elevate such conversation, and we will not. So if you put the question before me 100 times, I will not.
That is somebody who is preparing to be a president in the contraption called Nigeria. They don't know the way he made his money. Nobody knows the way he's made money, and they don't even know his age. Now you see another imposter in the making. Another imposter in the making. And before you know it, they will now fly him to London. When he goes to London, British will endorse him. The Queen will endorse him. British will endorse him. Then they will fly him to US. America will endorse him. They will come back and settle. Then you have no choice than to accept him as your president. The same way they did to Buhari. They knew that Buhari is an imposter. They knew that Buhari has no brain. They knew that Buhari has not improved himself. They know that Buhari don't know anything about governance. They know very well. But they carried him. They went to Britain. Britain accepted him. They approved. So long he's going to continue to make sure that British Empire called Nigeria continue to exist. They don't care. So long the British Empire called Nigeria, that company called Nigeria continue to exist for Britain, they don't care. They will support that candidate. The same thing with the US. So long their own interest is protected, they will sign any candidate you present to them. The same thing they did to Buhari, that is what they're applying to do now, before your own very eyes. You are seeing it before your own very eyes. Somebody who doesn't have a legitimate means of income. There's a video I'm going to play next time of Bode George, how he tried his Tinubu, how he revealed the whole way Tinubu have stolen money, how Tinubu was deported from US, how Tinubu was involved in drug issue. Today, they are packaging him, trying to present him as somebody who is contending for president, and people are buying the story. Even ordinary people, some people who are watching me are now supporting Tinubu. Some people who are supporting me, tomorrow you see them using their platform to promote this effort. Instead of asking for their self-determination, they know very well that the British Empire called Nigeria, this very company of Britain called Nigeria, cannot serve any purpose for us. Nigeria is not there to serve the Igbos. It's not there to serve the Yorubas. It's not there to serve the Hausa. Not there to serve any indigenous tribe in Nigeria. Nigeria company is for British and British alone. When we say it, people think it's a joke. You have seen it playing over. It has been playing up over and over again. That is why you do not even choose your president. You don't even have right to choose your president. It is Britain and US that endorse your president. Anybody that endorse, everybody will follow the person. That is what you have been doing. That is exactly what you have been. If not like that, how Tinubu himself cannot win Lagos State? If not because it is anybody they will force us to accept. Tinubu himself, in a genuine election, Tinubu cannot win Lagos State. In a genuine election, what do they call him? The late Buhari cannot win North the way he won. But because Britain is involved, they are using the manipulating figure. They are using their stooge in the south, in the east, in the west. Their stooge are everywhere. They are different tribes with different religion. People who are protecting this company called Nigeria, this British company called Nigeria, the people that are protecting it, some of them are Igbo, some of them are Yoruba, some of them are Hausas, some of them are Edos, some of them are Ijaw, some of them are Calabas, from different tribes, from different religion. The only man who is standing out and speaking out, not only standing out, speaking out, is our Sula Mazen Nandekan. And it is only Mazen Nandekan that have kept them on their toe for a very long time. They couldn't move front, they couldn't move back. That was why they took all risk to go and kidnap him. With the interest of Britain, Britain was involved in the kidnapping of Mazen Nandekan. They can't deny it. If British are not involved in the kidnapping of Mazen Nandekan, their citizen cannot be kidnapped. Their citizen cannot be kidnapped in Kenya, and then they still invite a president of that country to their country. It is not done. There's no way a British citizen will be kidnapped by a country, a popular person at that, a man that is controlling the greatest movement in the world, the most populous movement in the world. They kidnapped that man. Britain did not do anything. Up to today, they have not done anything about it. They have not done it. Instead, they are inviting the president of that country to their own area. The same thing with US. Instead, US is cementing their bilateral relationship with Nigeria. What does that tell you? They don't care. They don't care. Nigeria is a company that is serving the colonial master. The company Nigeria is to serve the colonial master and not to serve the indigenous people. If you don't understand what I'm saying very well, I am going to play a video of our Mazen Nandekan. You're going to see one of these comments that Mazen Nandekan made about this very issue, about the trouble that Nigeria is. I'm going to play a video of Mazen Nandekan for you to hear from him directly. Hear the voice of Mazen Nandekan directly, what he had to say about the criminality that you are seeing today in that country called Nigeria. Watch.
There is something written in the Times newspaper, and I want this thing to be published, please. I want it to be published tonight, immediately. I want it published on my page. I want people to understand a letter that was written in the Times of London. July 15, 1998. I repeat, the Times of London, Wednesday, July 15, 1998. Let me read it for you. It was written by a white man. You understand? Written by a white man. His name is Peter Smithers. Peter, P-E-T-E-R, you have Peter. Smithers is S-M-I-T-H-E-R-S. He wrote it. He was writing to the British government. He's a white man, he's British. As I said before, the British people are very conscientious people. An average Briton is a nice human being. An average Englishman, an average Scottish man, an average Welshman, an average Irishman, they are wonderful, beautiful people. But once you take them away from the streets of London, or Belfast, or Glasgow, or Edinburgh, as the case may be, or Cardiff, and you put them in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, dealing with colonial matters or dealing with Africa, they turn into beasts, they turn into monsters. I don't know why. Somebody wrote a letter. It's called the Nigerian Lesson. This is in the Times of London. As I repeat, Times of London, Wednesday, July 15, 1998. Somebody kindly sent it to me, and I'll read it so that the whole world may hear. This is from Sir Peter Smithers. He's a knight of the realm. The proper sir, not the sir you have in the zoo. These are the proper, these are the knights of the realm of the British Empire. Now listen. Sir, I'm now reading verbatim the letter written by Sir Peter Smithers to the Times newspaper of London. Listen, sir, during the negotiations for the independence of Nigeria, the view of the Secretary of State at that time, with which I agreed, was that in Nigeria, we should attempt to put together a large and powerful state with ample material resources which will play a leading part in the affairs of the continent and of the world. This was attractive, but it involved forcing several different ethnic and cultural groups into a single political structure. The negotiations were complex and very difficult. The chief problem, as I recall or I remember, relating significantly to the control of the police and of the military. Listen carefully, please. In the retrospect of 40 years, it is clear that this was a grave mistake, which has cost many lives and will probably continue to do so. It would have been better to establish several smaller states in a free trade area. Even some British people realized after 40 years of failed experiment called Nigeria. Sir Peter Smithers, who worked in the zoo colonial desk, he is writing, we wanted to build a country that is so big that we can control, more or less. And that very big country. Our problem then was who to give the police and the army to. And they gave it to Fulani. The man is now saying, with hindsight, after 40 years, many people, he wrote this thing in 1998, not 2020, 1998. This white man knew that Fulanis were using army and police to kill people in 1998. He said, after 40 years of this experiment called Zoo, Nigeria, that they created, that it is a mistake. White man is a mistake. Now, he said, we should have gone for small states. Now, this goes back to Aburi conference. Our people should be able to reason. This was the reason why Britain said no to Aburi. Because Aburi was about confederation. Ojukwu went to Aburi, agreed confederation, came back home in Enugu, and go and launched a war. Instead of implementing that Aburi, that would have allowed smaller nations to emerge, but in a free trade zone called Nigeria. Gowon said no because British told him to say no. Because Britain wanted a large country that has influence in Africa, that they can control. But to achieve that control, they needed to place the military and the police in the hands of the Janjaweed, Fulani, Miyetiala. And that was what they did. And that is why we are suffering till today. This man said people are dying. Let me continue. Did not then have the examples of the collapse of Yugoslavia and of Soviet Union before our eyes. In other words, the man is saying that Nigeria, the zoo you have, Nigeria to some of you, is the same thing as Yugoslavia, the same thing as Soviet Union. and it is bound to collapse. That's what this man is lamenting in 1998. He is saying, we did not have the benefit of the collapse of Soviet Union or Yugoslavia to tell us what to do in the case of the animals in the zoo, Nigeria. Are you listening? This is from a British man, a high-ranking officer. He is a sir, he's a knight of the realm, Sir Peter Smithers. I will continue. It should now be clear for all, but the willfully blind. This is how intelligent this man is saying. It is clear to everybody, to both cockroach and rat, okay, Mochicha, everybody knows it is clear, unless you're living in denial, unless you are a denier of the truth, unless you are foolish. This is from a white man, please, not me. Unless you are willfully blind to see that it is extremely dangerous to force diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure such as that which is being built upon the foundation of the Maastricht Treaty. This man was saying the reason why Britain left the EU, the reason why Britain opposed, some of you don't know what is Maastricht Treaty, but I will tell you some other day. It was a treaty of European Union that Britain refused to sign. This man is saying the same mistakes of the past we are about to repeat. What is that mistake? To willfully join together. He said it is extremely dangerous. A white man is saying is that Nigeria as it exists today, Nigeria, is extremely dangerous because you are forcing diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure that is unsustainable. Now, recent history, according to this man, Peter Smithers, sir, of course, he's a knight of the realm. Recent history suggests that it will be best to complete the development of the common market and to call a halt to political integration in Europe. These are the people of Brexit. They don't want Britain to be a part of one big political superstructure. The man is saying the same thing we built in Nigeria that is costing lives. And who is this man that wrote this? He said, I am, sir, your obedient servant, Sir Peter Smithers. Listen to his title. Parliamentary Private Secretary to the Minister of State and the Secretary of State in the Colonial Office from 1952 to 1959. And he lives in Vico Makote in Switzerland. Are you listening? These are people that knew that putting a country together, people of diverse social backgrounds. In Igbo land, am I the same thing with a Fulani man? The answer is no. I am related to Efik, to Bibu. I'm related to Eshan, as they call it, I am related to Igoromigo, the people who are there. I have relationship with Urobo. I know I can relate to Isoko culture. I can relate to Ishekiri culture. But can I relate to Fulani culture? The answer is no. Maybe even to an extent, I can relate to Yoruba culture, Yoruba culture, to an extent. But do you think I can ever relate to Fulani culture? Of course, the answer is no. Because Fulani runs a feudal system, a rank-added system, where one big man stays at the top and gives you tea in the morning and asks you to go and stone somebody and you go and do it. That's what they do. Do you see the difference between an egalitarian society and one that is so structured that order will come from the emir or from the sadiki or whoever? We are not like that. That is not democracy. And that value system was what the Fulanis brought to Asorok. These are the things that your so-called social scientists and your political analysts don't understand. What is playing out in Asorok today is the same Janjaweed feudal system, where one person stays at the top and just keeps distributing money that they did not work for. Money that they didn't earn. That is what is happening in the zoo. That same thing was what they brought to the center in Asorok, and some of you are too blind to see it. When we tell you that the zoo, Nigeria, is unworkable, try to understand there is no nation on this earth where you have divergent values, divergent cultures and traditions welded together into a nation is a lie.
That is it. You have heard from our Sulemazen Nandekano. Whenever I'm listening to our Sulemazen Nandekano, it will seem as if he's just standing before me. After every of his broadcasts, there is no point saying much again. He has said it all. I play this broadcast for you to know where the source of our problem is. For those of us who are focusing on ourselves, some of us are focusing on our fellow brothers. Some of us are focusing on ourselves instead of focusing on the main enemy. The real enemy of the people is the Fulani Janjaweed, empowered by British. They are the real enemy. And they are the people trying to wipe away every other ethnic group. They are the real enemy. This is why we have to stand up and fight with the last drop of our blood. And on the issue of Asuda Mazen Nandekano, the only solution to free Mazen Nandekano remains civil disobedience, because we are dealing with demons. You have seen from the explanation of Mazen Nandekano, you can now know the people we are fighting. The force we are not fighting, they are not people you will beg for something and they will give it to you. They can't give you anything except you fight for it. They can't. You can see how the British is being served by Nigeria. I have told you, Nigeria is not established for the interest of anybody. It is established for the interest of the British. And the British have used the Fulani Caliphate to continue to push forward their own agenda. That is why anything that Fulani does is good for them. They don't care. Anything that the Fulani does is good for them. This is high time. It is high time we wake up and face the real enemy. Stop demonizing your own brother. What we have to do is to come together and fight for the unconditional release of Mazen Nandekano. It is we that will do it. The Fulani on their own cannot release Mazen Nandekano. The lawyers cannot release Mazen Nandekano. The only thing that will release Mazen Nandekano is your action, my action, through civil disobedience. Nobody is telling you to carry a gun and shoot anybody. Nobody is telling you to go outside and protest. Sit at home on Sunday and on Monday. And we head to the economic sanction to the Janjaweed in Biafra land. Any revenue you are paying revenue, or you're a revenue collector. If you are a revenue collector in Biafra land, better look for another job, because Biafran people will come after you. Go and look for another job before it is late. If you are a revenue collector, either you are collecting revenue for local government, collecting for state government or federal government in Biafra land, go and look for another job before it is too late, because Biafran people will come after you. It is high time we stop empowering those who are killing us. And for those Biafrans who are giving themselves to be used by the Janjaweed against their own people, Chukwu Okike Abiama will take you out. You are not going to see the end of 2022. 2022 will see your end. And every Biafran that is genuinely fighting for the freedom of their people, everybody in that country that is genuinely fighting for the freedom of their people, you will see the end of 2022. 2022 will never see your end. It is high time we wake up. It is high time we wake up. I have nothing much to say anymore. I'm going to end the progress here, and I thank everyone who have shared this video. Every hand that have shared this video from the beginning to the end, everybody who have followed this video from the beginning to the end and have shared this video, you will never see any death in 2022. You will walk into Biafra alive. If you are from Oduduwa land, you walk into Oduduwa land alive. Wherever region you are, you will see your freedom. Every hand that has shared this video, Chukwu Okike Abiama will bless you and prosper you. Any day you sacrifice for Biafra, any day you sacrifice to sit at home, anything you lose on that day, you will recover it in 100-fold. You will never lack in your life. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect our school Mazen Nandekano. Secure Mazen Nandekano and set him free. Any weapon formed or fashioned against Mazen Nandekano shall never prosper. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining from the beginning to the end. I thank you and I appreciate everyone that have joined. See you again tomorrow by the special grace of Chukwu Okike Abiama. Thank you and remember this.